If you want to expand and improve your business online, Exabytes can help. We're Southeast Asia's leading cloud and digital solution provider with 20 years of solid experience. Today, Exabytes powers its 140,000 worldwide customers, from individuals, small and medium-sized businesses, to government and public-listed companies, with the three most important values in mind: simplify, innovate, and grow. Using the power of technology and its all-in-one solutions, which include web design, website security, cloud backup, digital marketing, business email, and more. Exabytes can guide you along every single step, from zero to success, to ensure you can sit back and watch your business grow.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.
I've always wanted to know how the world works, and I've always wanted to try and fix things. And if I don't achieve that, then somebody else has to.
There are some things that set students and staff at Greenwich apart from everybody else. It's a commitment to being ambitious, being determined, being inclusive, and it's about achieving the best that they can with all the talents that they have been presented with.
University of Greenwich was my choice because in terms of engineering, they are one of the leaders in the country. It's a very good university campus in terms of the facilities provided.
So you can study everything from engineering and science to business, or education and health to architecture and computing.
Since I started university, I knew I had an interest in ecology, biology, and environmental change. The people that teach us are experts in their field, but they're also active researchers as well. So you know that they're going around the world, they're doing studies in countries like Ethiopia and Uganda, and they're looking into solving these problems.
We take the future of our students so seriously at Greenwich that we build employability directly into our courses.
When I applied for the University of Greenwich, it was a course that seemed perfect for me because not only was it the only university that offered a degree with football coaching, but it was also had a partnership with Charlton Athletic, made me a much better coach than what I started.
My name's Guy Penwill. I studied at the University of Greenwich. I'm now part of a team that won 2 Oscars for visual effects. I came to Greenwich because of the wonderful setting. It was London, and I desperately wanted to live in London as well. As soon as I graduated, they gave me a job, which was fantastic because you've got so many other hundreds of thousands of students trying to enter the industry.
The University of Greenwich is fortunate and somewhat unique amongst London universities to have such excellent sports facilities, from our grass pitches to our sports hall to our tennis courts, and now these wonderful artificial pitches.
Sports teams are the best thing you'll ever do at university. They are your family, they're your support network, and I know that I wouldn't have lasted this long in university if it wasn't for them.
The experience at Greenwich would be very different because we're incredibly supported through personal tutorials. We get to know our students by their names, having one-on-one meetings to support their knowledge and support their learning.
And you can come to Greenwich to see for yourself on one of our open days. Take a tour of one of the campuses. Try a taster session in a subject you are interested in and speak to the leading academics who will be teaching you.
And also the exoskeleton, the weaponry, the backpack, and the handies. Of course, John Reed's weaponry is really amazing. This is his assault rifle.
呢隻機係2002年從一個 event 叫 MG Special Mechanics CW Champion。
Mandibles ada gimmick yang sangat unik. Mana layer wave dia? Kau chip dengan layer wave dia bergabung kat sini.
Hard time versus 58. Alright, untuk stadium memang.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of SGC Webinars. My name is CY and I will be your moderator tonight. So if you are connecting with us, if you are watching this right now, please type in the comment section below and let me know where you are connecting from. Because I understand we have a lot of audience registering from a lot of different places all over Malaysia, that's for sure. And we have some international audiences all the way from the UK as well. So type in the comment section below, let me know where you're connecting from, and we will begin precisely at 8:30 tonight. So before we begin, right, I just want to take everybody through some slides and some housekeeping matters. Number one, welcome once again everybody to this SGC webinar series brought to you by Exabytes Group of Colleges. Once again, for those of you who have just tuned in, my name is CY and I will be your moderator tonight. And before we go any further, we want to make sure that you get the best experience out of tonight's webinar. So no matter where you're connecting from, please make sure that you can hear us and see us clearly. So if you could hear us and see us clearly, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up in the comment section below. If you cannot hear us clearly, if you cannot see us clearly, very likely is due to a weaker internet connection in your area. So maybe you want to move to an area with better internet connection. So if you could hear us and if you could see us clearly, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have just tuned in, please let us know where you're connecting from by typing it at the comment section below. So a little bit of background about tonight's webinar. We are actually streaming live on Exabytes College Subang Jaya's Facebook account and on Exabytes College Subang Jaya's YouTube account. So if you are on Facebook, right, do me a favor. If you know somebody that is that will be interested in tonight's session, start a watch party in your personal Facebook, because that will enable us to bring more audience on board. So are you guys ready? Because if you are ready, let me know you're ready, because our speakers are all ready and we're all ready for you. So please type 1 if you are ready. Let me see some comments coming in. Please type 1 if you are ready. And while we are waiting for more people to come in, I just want to give a quick shout out to Calvin. Welcome. Quick shout out to Lisa. Quick shout out to Wendy, Vilasiki, Hillary Hill, Bini, So, Zach, Li Qianqiang. Who else is here? Bini is here. Caroline is also here. Mulyadi is also here. So thank you very much for joining us. Once again, my name is CY. I will be your host or your moderator tonight. Oh, I just see Nu is here. Nu is a very good friend. So quick shout out to Nu. Alicia as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who else is here? Ryuki Ru is here. So if you guys are ready, let me introduce to you our topic tonight. So tonight we'll be talking about something that is very, very close to my heart. We're talking about the future of jobs, digital marketers, YouTubers, KOL. By the way, KOL stands for key opinion leaders, social influencers, and more. And this is a very a subject that is very, very close to my heart. And the reason why is because in Exabytes Group of Colleges, I hold a portfolio of handling digital marketing. So that is why I think tonight's session is something that is very, very close to what I do. And I can't wait to introduce to everybody the speakers tonight, because the speakers lineup is really very, very, very terror or very hebat, or it's very, very good. And before we go on, I just want to do another quick shout out to those of you who are watching this right now. I see Munjo just joined, Weezen, Tiffany as well. So if you're watching this right now on Facebook, we are streaming live, by the way, on Facebook and on YouTube. If you are streaming live from Facebook, start a watch party, because that will bring more people, to watch this webinar. A lot of people, I think, are very, very interested in tonight's session. So tonight we will take about 1 hour and maybe a little bit more, depending on how enthusiastic our audience are. So if you're very excited, if you have a lot of questions, make sure you type it in the comment section below, because at the end of this webinar, we're going to answer your questions. And also very special tonight, this has never been done before in our webinar series. Tonight, we are giving out 10 limited edition laptop bags sponsored by University of Greenwich, UK. So if you stay with us until the very end, you are going to stand a chance to win a limited edition University of Greenwich laptop bag. Yeah, and welcome once again to those of you who have joined in. We have a lot of viewers already. So once again, my name is CY, and I will be your host tonight. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce to everybody the speakers. But right before we go into the speakers, let me give you a bit of background about what we are, why did we came up with this topic. The reason why is because over the last 2-3 years in education, in SEGI, we meet with a lot of parents, we meet with a lot of potential students, and of course, every year we participate in a lot of education fairs and meet with a lot of parents who are very concerned about their children's future. And of the last 3 years, we noticed there's a series of new questions coming up from parents. Questions like, hey, my kid tell me he or she wants to become a YouTuber. Is YouTuber a real job? Are they going to, make a living? Is YouTuber a real job? And there are also some, parents who come and tell us, hey, my children tell me this KOL. What is KOL? What do they have to study to become a KOL? And then there are also some students who come to tell us, these are fresh graduates from high school coming to tell us, hey, I want to become a social influencer. What do I have to study to become a social influencer? So all these years we've been receiving a lot of feedbacks and a lot of questions like this, and that is why recently SEGI Group of Colleges launched our brand new degree in Advertising and Digital Marketing Communication with University of Greenwich. And that is why we are doing tonight's live webinar as well, because tonight we want to address these questions. We want to address the questions that is given to us by parents, by students. If I want to become a YouTuber, if I want to become a KOL, digital marketer, what do I have to do? What do I have to study? Is it a real job? Am I going to get a career pathway and stuff like that? So tonight's speakers, let me introduce to you tonight's speaker. The first person that I want to bring up tonight is Mr. Chan. Mr. Chan Ki-siak is the founder and CEO of Exabytes Group Malaysia. So if you want to know more about him, his profile is there on the screen. But just give you a brief introduction about who Mr. Chan is. He's the founder and CEO of Exabytes Group. And you may be wondering, what is Exabytes Group? So Exabytes Group is a company that does that provides a lot of digital marketing solutions to companies big and small. And they have a lot of experience in the area of digital marketing. And I cannot think of a better person to bring to talk to you about digital marketing and the future of digital marketing other than Mr. Chan. So can we bring up Mr. Chan on the screen so that Mr. Chan can very quickly say hello to everybody? Hi, Mr. Chan. Maybe you could give everybody a quick introduction about yourself.
Hi, CY, and good evening, everyone. Thanks, Sergey and CY, for having me. My name is Chan. I'm the founder and CEO of Exabytes. I started Exabytes when I was 19 years old. That's 20 years ago. Fast forward, today Exabytes serves as the largest hosting provider in the region, in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. So digital marketing is something that we are very passionate about. So I'm glad to share more and talk a little bit more about the future job as a digital marketer tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chan. It's good to have you here. Then I'm going to introduce our next speaker tonight, who is a very, very, very successful YouTuber. When parents ask me about, is there a career pathway as a YouTuber? Is it a real job? I cannot think of a better person to bring than Mr. Michael, because he's a professional YouTuber. So, Mr. Michael, if you could come on and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. This is Michael from Awesome Toys TV. Started Awesome Toys TV about 4 years ago. We cover toy events, toy reviews. We also go to a lot of conference and events as well. Work with a lot of brands locally and also internationally. So thanks again to Sergey for having me.
Thank you very much, Michael, for joining us. And the next speaker that I want to introduce to everybody is Dr. Peter Valtros. And Dr. Peter is the principal lecturer in marketing from University of Greenwich. So if you have tuned in earlier on, you will have noticed that I've said SEGI Group of Colleges has just recently launched a new program with University of Greenwich, and that is degree in Advertising and Digital Marketing Communication. And so without further ado, let me introduce to you to Dr. Peter.
Hello, and thank you, CY. Good to see everyone in the room. Greetings, and greetings from London. We've launched this digital marketing degree several years ago.
Yes, go ahead, sorry.
Thank you. We launched a digital marketing degree several years ago at the university. We've been teaching marketing for many years. I'm principal lecturer in the Department of Marketing, so I specialize in this area. I'm very interested in disruptive technologies and the way we can brand products and services and places and cities and countries using marketing. And my responsibility is also with our international program. So I'm very happy to be with you today to share our knowledge around digital marketing and the new program as well. So very happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Peter. It's good to have you here as well. So for those of you who have just tuned in, once again, this is an SGC webinar series, and tonight we are focusing on a very important topic, and that is the topic of digital marketing. So how we're going to do tonight's webinar is very, very different as compared to our previous webinars, because we have a panel of speakers that we want to feature. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 2 open questions, and we're going to bring on each speaker one by one to hear what is their response to their question, and then at the end we're going to have a discussion session. And then the second half of this webinar would be questions that is directed specifically to our speaker. So the first part is very much of like a discussion. The second part would be on the more directed questions. So for those of you who are watching now, if you are thinking to yourself, is YouTuber a real job? You may want to stay until the end of this webinar to find out. And if you are thinking to yourself, hey, everybody is talking about digital marketing, what is it all about? And everybody has been talking about the staying by the beach. If you have a laptop, you can work kind of lifestyle. If this is something that you want to find out more, you should stay until the end of the webinar as well. So our first question tonight is, what is the future of marketing? And the reason why we're asking this question to our panel of speakers is because if you notice, over the years, in the marketing scene, how companies do marketing has changed. Before this, if you want to do marketing, you need to have a lot of money. You need to set up a billboard. You need to give out some flyers and stuff like that. But now everything is online, especially for those of you who are connecting from Malaysia. We have just passed the MCO period, and during the MCO period, everybody is online. Even even people who sell vegetables are selling their vegetable online. So everything is online now. Everything is. A lot of businesses are going online now. So we want to find out from our speakers, what is the future of marketing? And the first person I want to bring out to talk about this is Mr. Chan. And the reason why is because Mr. Chan heads a very, very big digital marketing firm, and I thought he is the best person to share with us a little bit of insights about what the future of marketing is. So can we bring out Mr. Chan, please?
Hi, CY.
Over to you, Mr. Chan.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you. Hi. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about marketing, right? So traditionally, marketing is actually very straightforward, right? You just think of a program, and they probably think of to advertise on newspaper, TV, billboard, and that's it, right? That's the traditional marketing. But I think when technology and times evolve, especially the past 3 months when COVID-19 hit us, and pretty much the entire world is locked down, everyone stay at home, and what you do actually stay at home is actually you spend more time browsing internet, right? Either it's through mobile or it's through your computer, laptops, through the internet, right? So digital marketing become one of the critical part, right? Because people can't go out, right? So the only way that people can interact, or the brands can interact with the consumer, or the seller try to interact and with the buyer, is actually through internet, or rather say through digital, right? So digital marketing definitely is become one of the very important new normal. But when we talk about digital marketing here, right, it's actually way more complicated and way more complex than the traditional marketing. I think number one, to begin with, digital marketing, there are so many different layers and different elements, right? For example, it started with search engine, for example, Google, right? Then it followed by social media like Facebook, like Instagram. But today, the entire digital and internet landscape already expanded beyond that. For example, you will have TikTok, you have LinkedIn, you have YouTube, you have content marketing, you have even like targeted marketing, newsletter, SMS, WhatsApp, right? All these are in a digital form, right? So I think couple of points I'm trying to make here. Number one is digital marketing. It become a big part of marketing. That already happening since 20 years ago. But I think because of COVID-19, because of the trend is changing, it will become an even greater part of our future day-to-day life. Okay, that's number one. Number two is digital marketing is not just a stop at search engines or social media. It's actually across all kinds of channels that you can find over the internet. And number three, I try to share is that also digital marketing is also evolving in the sense that in the future, you won't be surprised that the digital marketing itself is not just stopped at all these browsers or internet we can see. It may also evolve to other audio and visuals. For example, in some of the market or countries, they're already using like Alexa, they're already using like Series, or even the China, they have the Tianmao Jingling and all that. So the marketing could be also exist in the form of audios, right? Today we also spend a lot of time on YouTube, on other video platform like TikTok and all that. So video also play a very critical role in terms of the digital marketing. And the last point I'm trying to share here is that you think about digital marketing, especially the future of digital marketing, is about how you're connecting the dot, right? Users may start the journey from Google, then go to social media, go to LinkedIn, go to video, go to Alexa, and come back. So as a marketers, as a future digital marketers, part of it is how can we actually connect the dot? So then regardless your potential customers or target audience, regardless of where they go, they are always influence or see your ads following. And that was really the fun part and also the impactful part of the future of the marketing. CY, back to you.
Yes, thank you very much for sharing. I think Mr. Chan brought out something that is very interesting, and that is with digital marketing, right? Now, with the subject of marketing is actually more complex because it involves a lot of different layers, and it's also about how you can connect different platforms together. One of our speakers tonight is Mr. Mike from Awesome Toys. And Mr. Mike, as a professional YouTuber, a lot of people would think that, YouTuber's job is uploading content, uploading video onto YouTube. Not a lot of people understand the business part of it and the marketing side of it. So I would just like to bring out Mr. Mike for a moment to talk about what is the future of marketing. I mean, from a YouTuber point of view. So over to you, Mr. Mike.
Hi, CY. So basically, what is the future of marketing? Well, I don't have a crystal ball to tell you how it's going to be like, but going by the trends today, we do know that a lot of people are discovering products and services online. Like, for example, when was the last time you actually decide on what products to buy or where do you want to go for holiday through reading the newspaper or listening to the radio, right? So it is definitely going more towards online, and YouTube, for example, is the reason why we started a YouTube channel. It is really a way to connect with users who are looking for new products and services, which they are now spending more time on, right? Worldwide, I think consumers are spending on average about 7+ hours just on online itself, right? Whether they are browsing the internet, on social media, consuming content, or for work, that amount of time is getting more and more every single year when I'm tracking the data. And there's also the reason why you could see that most of the big brands around the world, P&G, Unilever, Samsung, they're all spending also increasingly more and more money onto digital media buying, whether it's on Facebook, programmatic, direct marketing. I think that is really where I see the trend of marketing pivoting across to. Back to you, CY.
Thank you very much for sharing. And Michael, before you go down, I would also like to share a very interesting phenomenon. Everybody is talking about digital marketing. It's a very fast moving industry. And one very interesting observation that I've made about YouTube, and perhaps if you can elaborate a little bit on, is you see when YouTube started out, I think more than 10 years ago, it was a platform for people to share videos. So if you are interested in certain topic, you will go onto YouTube and you will look for videos that may interest you. But what I've noticed about YouTube nowadays is rather than a video platform, right now it has actually evolved into like a mini search engine, where if people want to find out about certain product or service, especially product, they will go into YouTube and they will look at contents uploaded by YouTubers just like you. And I think it's also the same in the toys industry, where before people spend, especially those limited edition kind of toys, right? And it's very, very expensive. They will go to channels just like yours to find out more first before they make a decision to purchase. So now I think YouTube is more like a search engine. It's much more than a video platform. Mr. Michael.
You're definitely right. I think right behind Google, YouTube is the second most searched platform next to, Facebook is number 3. So consumers do go to YouTube to look at reviews on the latest technology, hotel, and of course, for my platform, what are the latest toys to buy? Because most consumers, they have a certain amount of budget they only can spend every single month, right? Do I spend 1,000 or 2,000 ringgit on a Dragon Ball figure or Ultraman figure that costs 2,000 ringgit? They will want to look at channels such as us to find out whether it is worth spending those kind of money. So yes, it is becoming a search channel next to Google itself. And that's why you're starting to see a lot more product ads being listed on YouTube. And I think it's important that, as a YouTuber, it's not just as easy as creating a video and putting it on YouTube. YouTube itself as a platform, the dashboard for creators like us, it changes every other month. And I have to keep on adapting to the change in layout, in the workflow. It just keeps on changing and evolving. So that's how fast digital marketing is evolving, yes.
Oh yes, and the most headache part is how the algorithm changes every now and then we have to chase the algorithm.
Yes.
So I mean, for those of you who are watching now, a lot of people think that YouTube is all about uploading video, but what a lot of people don't realize is there's a whole ton of technical aspect behind, and there's also a business side of it. So I think one of the key takeaway that I really want audience who are watching tonight to take home is to look at digital marketing in a whole different way. And when people tell you, if your parents who are watching this, when your children tell you, I want to become a YouTuber, I want to become a social influencer, don't panic first, because I think there's definitely a career a career that you can make out of it if you know what you're doing. So don't panic. And later tonight, Mr. Mike is also going to share with you a lot of insights about how you can make it as a YouTuber. So if you're watching this, stay tuned, stay until the end of the webinar to find out more. And the next person that I want to bring out is somebody that is from the academic end, but he has also done a lot of research, especially in the area of marketing. I would like to bring out Dr. Peter. So Dr. Peter, share with us, what is your view about the future of marketing?
Thank you, CY. The future of marketing is, in one word, digital. Perhaps not entirely digital, but moving, as my colleagues have said, increasingly into the digital direction. And with this comes many opportunities, but also some challenges as well. Let's look at the opportunities first. Digital marketing allows us to collect big data, big amounts of data about our consumers, about the people who watch us. It allows us to do this very fast. As Mr. Chan said earlier, compared to 30 years ago, we're able to capture the data about our consumers and to calculate it and to use that data to be able to target our messages. This allows us, step 2, to offer more personalized, targeted marketing messages. And platforms like YouTube, with the underlay of having the user data, allows us to increase the efficiency of our marketing spend through the digital technology. So these two things, big data, fast data, and personalization, feed very closely and very well with the trend and the move towards digital data, digital marketing through that data. The other aspect I find quite fascinating around the YouTube phenomenon and the influencer phenomenon is that this links into the soft approach to marketing. It's not loud marketing, buy my products, the way we used to see on television advertising or on radio advertising, for example. There's a blurring between entertainment and consumerism. And this softer approach to marketing, which is more experiential, it's more immersive. It could be live. We still need to meet our clients face to face, but it's increasingly virtual, connects very well with the digital component to marketing. But one of the challenges that arises through that, as both my colleagues, Mr. Chan and Mr. Michael have mentioned, is the plethora of platforms that keep emerging, new algorithms, new apps, new software, and so on. So there's a lot of channel noise as well. Consumers are bombarded by hundreds, in some cases thousands of messages every day. So the challenge, and one of the things we aim students to capture through our programs, is that business component of how will my channel stand out against the many other channels? Who are my end users? Who is watching me? And how can I make maximum output through the digital efforts? So some opportunities very strongly, but also some challenges that our graduates, we aspire, will be able to help to move the industry forward.
Thank you very much,
Back
Dr.
to you,
At
Siwa.
this point of time, thank you. At this point of time, I want to bring out all of our speakers because I think the one theme that all three of you has mentioned is the theme of how, marketing is slowly moving from a traditional, very hard, buy my product marketing to a more softer approach where, Dr. Peter mentioned it's more towards infotainment, more like infotainment. How can we softly influence people to buy? And that brings me to the subject of content marketing. So I'm going to throw this question out to three of our speakers. And see, if you want to respond, then you raise your hand and then you could respond. If not, then I'm just going to volunteer you. So the question here is, what is content marketing? And why is everybody talking about content marketing? Yes, Mike.
Okay. Now let's talk about content marketing, what it is about, right? I mean, when we are spending time online trying to find what you want and what you like, it is extremely difficult, right? Even though you have Google search, finding what you want exactly, it is very difficult. So that is why brands today are investing a lot in their own content creation. They have their own branded videos, their 30-second commercials as well. And they also engage a lot of influencers such as myself to create, original content. So you get to see branded content by the brand, and you also get to see unbiased reviews and views of a specific product or services review on a specific product or services. And I think that's why creating a lot more content is very important for brand discovery. And it is not something that you can learn just by being a YouTuber, right? You definitely need to understand the whole algorithm of how Google, YouTube, Facebook, how do they actually list out your content to potential customers and how do they match. And that is why I think Sagi has some of the right materials and courses that can help to enable you guys on this. I mean, for me, it was a lot of try and error, trying to understand what kind of best content to create that will help appeal and also connect to the right segment of audience.
Thank you for sharing. Mr. Chan, if you have something to add.
Sure. Yeah. So today, right, I think most of the internet audience, they're already immune with the advertisement, right? They saw if there's a banner, they automatically will ignore it, right? So that actually make the marketers' job difficult. So we have to think how else we can attract the audience or potential customers. So very naturally, I think content marketing become one of the mediums. You create good and also useful and attractive contents to attract the readers. And a lot of time, it's not just limited to good content, but you also need to have very catchy title, right? You make people curious to actually continue to find out more about the contents. The other part is today, right? Paid advertisement is also getting more and more expensive, right? So avoid to just rely on paid advertisement. The other way of generating the traffic and visitors to your channel or website is actually by building good content.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. And I think the one thing that I want to summarize, right? What I'm getting from all the speakers is when we're talking about the subject of digital marketing, a lot of to the viewers out there, what you need to get is digital marketing and marketing nowadays is not just about creating a poster or creating a video and then slapping it on your website. It's a lot more fluid, and there's a lot of practical aspect that you need to understand. And that is why I think our brand new degree program, it's very useful because there are a lot of practical aspects. Perhaps Dr. Peter, you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the challenges that my colleagues working in the industry have mentioned is that there's an oversupply of content. Today, content is free. You know, anyone can open a YouTube channel. So what becomes incredibly important is the authenticity of that content. Can you trust the person presenting the content? The reinforcement of the brand. Does the content actually reinforce the brand or detract from the brand? And of course, is the content getting to the right people? It actually reminds me of over 100 years ago when the postage stamp was invented here in the UK, in England. The first postage stamp of a national post office was cost only 1 penny. 1 penny. But then people got alarmed by that. They said, what, for 1 penny, I can send a letter to anyone in the UK? Well, people will lie. They will put envelopes in the post and make up all kinds of lies. Anyone can say anything. And remarkably, we're in that exact same state now in the digital world. Anyone can say anything online. So the trust becomes incredible. Trust in the brand, trust in the presenter, reinforcement of that brand become as my colleagues have pointed out, absolutely crucial.
Right, can you hear me? I think my internet connection is a little bit not stable, but we're back. Sorry. But thank you very much, Dr. Peter, for sharing. And I think that sort of while you brought up the subject of how with stamps, how it changes marketing, it sort of ushers us into the next question. We're talking about the past, and now I want to talk about the future. With digital marketing and with all of the emerging platforms and stuff like that, what is the future of jobs, especially in the marketing field like? And I would like to bring out our first speaker to talk about this, Mr. Michael. So you could share with us, what do you think is the future of jobs, especially in the marketing field? Over to you, Mr. Michael.
Okay, I would love to get some questions from the audience too, but let me sound off on what is the future of jobs in the marketing field. It is definitely becoming a lot more digitized and also a lot more automated. So what I mean by that, today you can practically buy digital media ads just like a trading floor, right? You're buying which are the best price, which are the best location. So you do need to have some sense of how are you going to be able to get comfortable dealing with a lot of different dashboards and screens. So it's quite a lot of automation versus the digital state of marketing 5 to 10 years before. It was very, very easy, right? A brand like P&G or Unilever will say, hey, I want to advertise on digital. And the agency will say, okay, great. I will put your money on MSN, Yahoo, ICQ. And those were those days, right? It was very, very basic and it was very simple. But now, as what Mr. Chan has mentioned earlier as well, it's becoming a lot more complex. So you do need some form of knowledge on how every single different platform works and how do they connect to your objective of your marketing campaign. So that is what I think is going to be the future of marketing jobs. Back to you, CY.
Thank you very much. I couldn't agree more. I think to do well in the future, it's not just about focusing on one platform and doing it. Understand ins and out of one platform. It's all about connectivity. And it's all about understanding how people flow from one platform to another. And I would like to bring out the second speaker, and that is Mr. Chan, because in terms of getting audience from one platform to another, connecting different platforms and making an impact in your marketing is a subject that Mr. Chan is specialized in. So, Mr. Chan, what do you think the future of job is?
Right. So I think two main points here. Number one is if you master some digital marketing skills, right, it doesn't mean you will be ended up with just able to serve your future career as a digital marketer. But I would rather say, right, by mastering or learning digital marketing and mastering it, you actually will add a lot of additional advantages regardless in the future you are going into which job verticals, right? Even if you, for example, you want to run your own business, you want to become an entrepreneur, or you want to launch a startup, you cannot run away with digital marketing, right? By having some knowledge and some skills on digital marketing, it definitely will help you, regardless you're working as a digital marketer, or you're working as an entrepreneur, or you are launching a startups. So that's number one. Number two is you try to imagine, right? Today, everyone actually knows how to use a computers, right? But by knowing how to use a computer doesn't mean you are a programmer or you are a computer expert or you work in a computer-related jobs, right? It just become a necessity, right? So I will envisions that in the very, very near future, and the future is almost now, right? Everyone will actually, apart from need to know how to operate a computer and know how to use internet, you will also need to know some forms of digital marketing. Yeah, that'll be my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Chan. And I think as you are explaining about the future of jobs, we are also getting a lot of comments down there. I mean, we're getting a lot of questions. So, I mean, I saw some questions. For example, Siu Ying mentioned, as a newly started social influencer, how can you get more people to view your platform? And then I also have Tiffany, who is asking, for a newly set up restaurant, what is the most effective digital marketing technique in Malaysia? Tiffany, here's a tip: hire Chan's company. Wendy is asking about what is the style lacking from Malaysian YouTubers. Alicia is asking, is it a good career to be specialized in social media networks? Abdul is asking, kind comment and elaboration on the digital marketing in the perspective of performance, competitiveness, and stuff like that. So thank you very much for all of your comments. As our speakers speak, I think they are going to try to address some of your questions. Yeah, so keep the questions coming in, and we will address your question as we progress. And let me bring out Dr. Peter to talk about the future of jobs. And Dr. Peter, if you could also talk a little bit about Abdul's question, digital marketing in the perspective of performance, competitiveness, and security, if you could.
Very, very important. Thank you, CY. Future of jobs in this digital marketing field, I think we'll be seeing a lot more portfolio work. This is one point. It's rather unlikely that graduates of our program or people working in digital marketing will work for only one company for the next 20 years. It could be working for a number of different projects at the same time for a number of different brands representing them, portfolio work, or if you do have your own media company, to have a number of projects, one after another, or at the same time. Career networking, very important. I'm very, very pleased to see so many friends joining us in this evening, because part of what you're doing here is meeting other people, meeting academics, people working in industry, and that broadens your opportunity base. So the future of work very much in networking, whether that's digital networking, of course, always live networking as well. The future of digital marketing and proving your worth in this part of the marketing industry rests on our return on investment. My colleagues have said quite rightly, and the questions, how should I spend? These are the kind of questions that clients will ask digital marketing specialists. What am I going to get back for the money that I'm investing? So it's not just about the content, because as we said, it's a very open platform. Platforms like YouTube and Facebook. So it's very easy to upload the content. What's more difficult is to prove the return on investment for the effort that's being put in. I want to address, it's partly linked to the security question, Abdul. Thank you very much. Very important, because we do have responsibilities as holders of data, very serious responsibilities to protect user data. And we see what happens when there's data leaks and the importance of the back-end servers and so on. So we're dealing in a very international environment, which means security of the data becomes very important as it crosses borders. But I also want to mention that the future of digital marketing and working in the digital marketing field also needs to take into account the global cross-cultural dimensions. It might be a little bit misleading to think because everyone around the world is using YouTube, they use it in the same way. So cultural differences, national differences will continue to play a role. And I think this is an area that's not really being talked about enough. We seem to think if everyone has a mobile phone, a few apps, then we're starting to think the same way. Not necessarily so. So the future very much portfolio driven in terms of work, the importance of knowing your client, knowing the brand, and what messages they want to get across are some of the areas, some of the aspects in the future employability of digital marketing that viewers should be taking into consideration. Thank you. Back to you, CY.
Thank you very much for sharing, Dr. Peter. At this point of time, I would like to bring up all of our speakers, and I just want to very, very quickly run through some of the questions that is raised by our viewers. And let's make it a little bit fun. All of you can only answer in 3 sentences, 3 short sentences. The first question that I want to bring up is, let me see. There was one. It's a question by Alicia. Is it a good career to be specialized in social media networks? 3 sentences. Who would like to go first? Yes, Mr. Chan.
Yeah, for sure it is, because there's a huge demand for digital marketing. But also take note, there are also a lot of competitions, because technically anyone can become a social influencer.
So that was 2 sentences. Very efficient. Who would like to continue? It's okay. I think we can move on to the next question.
Yes. I'll go. I'll add one sentence.
Okay.
I'll add 1 sentence. The question is a good career to be specialized in social media networks. 1 sentence answer. Yes, if you can prove that you add value.
Yes, I think at the end of the day, it's about adding value.
Yes, if you can prove that you can add value to the company, then yes, it would be an excellent idea to specialize in social media. But you have to prove value to the company.
Exactly, and it's all about ROI. I think Dr. Peter is going to mention, is going to talk about that later on. Thank you very much, Dr. Peter. Next question that I want to bring up is a question coincidentally by Alicia again. I create content writing, but is it going to be in demand for future jobs?
Yes. If you can, absolutely crucial to demonstrate your ability to communicate effectively. Alicia, this is a key skill, not only for digital marketing, for any work that you do in business. The ability to create compelling, clear messages will be valued to any client and any employer.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Chan.
Just to add on, right, if those of you who are in content writing field, if you can also pick up some knowledge about search engine optimization, SEO, so that means when you do your content writing, you add some SEO elements. I think the future is very, very bright. There's a huge demand for SEO plus content writing.
Right.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. In fact, for those of you who are watching right now, SEO is increasing. I mean, it's very, very important. And if you don't know what SEO is, I think this is a good time for you to take out your notebook and write down SEO and then do some research after this, because that is something that is definitely up and coming. I mean, it's already here. And if you don't know what it is, you are actually losing out. The next question is a little bit challenging from Pei Fang. For a startup online business, how to attract more audience or followers other than advertising? 3 sentences. Yes.
Number one is I think start with participating in community, right? In community, you try to expose yourself, and also you see how other people's also promoting their own services. Number two is get your first 10 customers. Getting the first 10 customers is always the most difficult, but once you have your first 10 customers, try to get each of them to recommend another 2 or 3, right? That's where you have 30, 50, and the snowball will going on.
Right. And number 3, study in Sergey's brand new program. I'm kidding. Mr. Mike, do you have something to add? Because I think this is something that you but you are an expert in.
I think Mr. Chan has already given quite a good answer, but perhaps I can answer to Mr. Wendy Chew's question on any advice on getting free or paid software for video editing. For a beginner, I would highly recommend using iMovie. You know, if you have a Apple laptop, it is free and it is the easiest one to get into. But if you're looking for something a little bit more intermediate or advanced, I would highly recommend getting DaVinci Resolve. It's free as well, so it's from the makers of Red Camera, if I'm not mistaken, and it's quite a powerful software and it's free. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, our speaker. So if you're watching this right now, if you have any questions, please continue to type in your questions. We'll do our best to feature them. On the next segment of our webinar, I'm going to have a more directed form of questioning. So my first directed question is directed to Mr. Chan. In your experience working with so many companies, big and small, in the area of digital marketing, why do you think companies have adopted digital marketing as one of the main channels for their marketing? So, Mr. Chan.
So I think number one is the consumer base actually getting younger and younger, and the younger generation of consumers, they are all live and in the digital era, right? So they don't read the traditional newspaper that much. They don't go to other channel, but they spend most of their time on internet, mobile, and all that. So by nature, you want to catch this group of your young consumers' attention. Like it or not, you have to go digital marketing, because that's where they spend most of their time on. Number two is a lot of companies, they start to like more and more on digital marketing. It's because of compared to traditional media, advertising and marketing, the digital marketing actually gives you small data point. You will know exactly how many people view your ads, how many people click on your ads, what's the conversion. And among those who actually view and click, right, who are they, where are they from? You got many, many useful data points, which is very difficult to get in traditional media.
I think at the end of the day, it boils down to the ability to measure and track the performance, right? Thank you very much, Mr. Chan. I just want to very quickly address Alicia's question on, is there a course just tailored for SEO? Of course, there are a lot of training programs out there that teaches you what SEO is about. And Mr. Chan, maybe you can elaborate a little bit about SEO, since we are talking about SEO.
Yes, our colleague actually just posted up a videos on our Exabytes Facebook page about what is SEO and search engine optimization, just I think yesterday or the day before, right? So basically, normally when we want to search for answers, right, or we're looking for a solution, we actually go to Google or go to other search engines, right, to look for the solutions. But among the so many content, so many websites, millions and millions of content out there, how can your contents become the more relevant and rank in front of all the search engine results? That's where the optimization comes in. That's where normally we will have a specific skills, like how you tweak your content. For example, a very specific and relevant title, and it come together with the actual content itself, the images, and how you tag the images, the links, etc. That's all this forms the basis of the SEO. Of course, the technical part. The more technical part would, like, for example, in the website, right, your meta tag descriptions, your meta title, things like that. These are all related that can definitely help to improve your SEO. Yeah, there are many resources available out there. Just search for learn SEO or what is SEO. You have tons and tons of resources. And SEO also it can be improved by practice, right? That means you publish your own website articles, and you try to use different kind of combination of keyword content, and you start to observe how you actually improve in terms of ranking. Yeah, please check out our Exabytes Facebook. We just posted a video about the SEO. Maybe my colleague can share the link as well in the comment.
Yeah, I think in the comment section, I see Nu from Exabytes as well. So Nu, if you could link that video down there, it'd be very, very helpful. And for those of you who are watching, who is thinking to yourself, what is SEO? It sounds like, wow, it's a whole new different world. I mean, if you have never heard of that before, don't worry. I mean, if you're a parent or if you're an SPM leader who's watching this right now, right? I mean, SEO is something that is covered in our syllabus as well. I mean, I was looking at the program listing or the subject listings of our latest, our brand new program, that is the Bachelor's of Arts, Honors, Advertising and Digital Marketing Communications. Is a new degree program that we've just rolled out with University of Greenwich. Some of the subjects are going to give you an introduction about what SEO is and how you can use that to your advantage. So, yeah, I mean that's something that you are interested in. So do check out our program as well. And to my Sergi colleagues who are also watching this, if you could also link in the comment section below the link to our website talking about this program, it'll be very helpful to our audience as well. So thank you very much once again, Mr. Chan. I would like to move on to the next question, and this question is directed to Mr. Michael. As a professional YouTuber, what is your advice to youths out there who are interested to become a professional YouTuber? And while we are at this topic, I also see a lot of questions talking about in the comment section, right? How can I start as a fresh YouTuber? So if you could cover this area as well as you speak, it'd be very good. Over to you, Mr. Michael.
Yes, actually, I was quite surprised as well. There are so many questions on becoming a KOL and also becoming a YouTuber. I think the easiest thing to ask is, can you create a content calendar for the next 24 videos or 12 videos? If you were to sit down and say, what kind of videos can you create for the next 12 months? If you're able to say, yeah, I really can plan out a list of content calendar and can commit my time, and the only things that's left for you to do is just really to just start the channel and just do it, right? You do not need a $5,000 to $10,000 ringgit equipment to start becoming a YouTuber. You just need a very cheap or free software. And I see there's a lot of questions about, where can I get free audio clips, free movie templates as well. You can just Google it, and there are a lot of new websites today that actually give out all these things to you for free, versus when I first started out as a YouTuber, a lot of the things you actually have to pay for it. So becoming a YouTuber, there is no real template to become a YouTuber, to be very frank. YouTube itself is very big and very wide, and it actually as a platform allows a lot of micros and sharp genres to actually exist and also thrive in that platform. Every year when I go to the YouTube convention, I met so many different YouTubers, those that just focus on fashion, on food, on chess, on funny videos. There are so many. But before you do start a YouTube channel, do ask yourself this. Please go and do a homework on what's already available out there in the market. Are you one of the 100,000 YouTubers out there in the market? For example, if you say, I want to be a YouTuber that reviews technology, like for example, mobile phones, I think you know that there are so many YouTubers today that reviews mobile phones. You may not be one of those people that stand out, and to catch that audience, your loyal audience, is not easy as well. Back to you, CY.
Thank you very much. Michael, there's a question that I thought is very interesting. And while you're on the screen, I want to bring out the question. Since we're talking about YouTube, a new video platform that has emerged, actually it's not so new. I mean, it's already here and it's already a big thing. TikTok. As Junyang Lee asked this question, as a business, should I start on TikTok? Is it practical from a business perspective, or is it a fad like Snapchat?
TikTok is definitely a great platform. It is a platform that's very tuned to teenagers, I would have to say, across the region. I've seen the data. If you believe that is the right platform to you, that is the customer base that you're trying to attract to, I would say go ahead. Why not? It is not difficult to create content on TikTok. But whether it is TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, I think a lot of brands face the same pitfall, right? Every time somebody starts a new business, they will do all the same thing. They will start a Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube page, TikTok, Twitter. They start everything. And it is only a few months down the road they realize that, hey, to create content for all these 5 different platforms is actually very, very time consuming, and also can be very expensive if you outsource it. So as a brand, I would advise you to identify who are your core target audience and where do you think they spend most of the time in those platforms, and really focus on 1 or 2 platforms and really invest in content creation for this platform.
Right. So I think the question to ask yourself is, rather than asking yourself, should I be on this platform? A better question to ask yourself is, where are my audience? Where are they? And follow where your audience is. And I think in our rehearsal sessions, I think 3 days before, following all this, we see a lot of
Sorry, CY, you are breaking up.
New advertising and digital marketing communication degree that SEGI is collaborating with UOG. You know, what are some of the graduate attributes that is in this degree, and you know, do share with us about this degree program. So over to you, Mr. Peter.
Yes, CY. Can I check? Are you? So the new program that we're offering, and it's the first, to our knowledge, to be offered or to be validated in Malaysia, the BA Honours in Digital Advertising and Marketing, BA Honours in Advertising and Digital Marketing Communications. Now this has evolved. We've been running marketing management programs for a number of years, but there was such an interest, as we're seeing here today, such an interest in the digital domain that we've increased the content, and now there's more than enough demand to be launching the new program, and we're very proud to have this first. Now, the University of Greenwich has been rated #1 in London for its marketing programs in 2019. So I'm going to spend just a couple of moments telling you about the program, about our university, about the program. But along the way, I've made notes of some of the questions that have been cropping up in the chat comments. So I'll be addressing those questions as well. So a little bit about the University of Greenwich, the program itself, which I think will answer some questions in terms of questions being raised, and what we very much want to see the graduates of our programs being able to do as they gain their award, and the career paths that will follow, because there's a lot more possibility here than just being a YouTuber. So the University of Greenwich, we were established over 100 years ago. We began in 1890 as a Thames Polytechnic. We're the second oldest polytechnic institute in the UK. So we've always had a very strong focus on practical applied knowledge. And then we became a full university in 1992. So we're based here in southeast London, right next to the river, in some historic old buildings over 500 years old in the district of Greenwich. And this is the Thames River. So we're on the historic side, and across the way we see the new emerging financial district on the north side of the river. Next slide, please. So we're a very diverse university. Approximately 50% of our students either come from overseas or were born in the UK, but from an ethnic minority background. And the teaching team, the case studies that we use, are drawn from the UK, from the rest of Europe, and around the world. And this is something we have an affinity with SEGI and with Malaysia, being multiracial, multi-ethnic, multilinguistic, multi-religious societies, that we very much are looking at that broad perspective as an institution. Next slide. SEGI is one of our longest standing and our largest partner in the world as well. So we have a very strong trust and very, very good working relationship with SEGI. So this new degree builds on that relationship. If you go to our YouTube channel or wiki page, as with many universities, you'll see a list of some great famous alumni graduates from the university. And usually that's footballers or music, pop singers. But I'm particularly proud of one of our graduates, Charles Gao, who studied with us back when we were still a polytechnic. He was born in Shanghai, came to England as a young man, and it was through his research in fiber optics and how fiber optics support telecommunications that actually won him a Nobel Prize alongside two other scientists. And we see him here as a young man carrying out his research and his work. And then many years later, we gave him an honorary degree. So in not an insignificant way, in quite a significant way, the fact that we can actually have the session today online and to do digital marketing, we can actually thank a Greenwich graduate for the technology that is allowing us to do these very things today. So very strong history. Now, you may be familiar with the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. I'm having to use this more and more with my students because my students now, we're in summer holidays here and they're doing their research projects. They're based in France and China and Russia. So when we set our meeting times, we set our meeting times according to Greenwich Mean Time. And if our campus looks familiar, you'll see in the next few slides, we've been featured in over 50 major feature films and television series in recent years. So here we are with the French flags, our campus being used in Les Miserables, or in Gulliver's Travels with the giant and the little people. I was actually on campus the day that very scene was being filmed, and then the digital technology is used to enhance it. Thor. So you've probably seen us already in the cinema. I hope for those of you who can come to London one day, you can come and visit us on campus. We'll be very happy to greet you. Yes, I can't compete with Johnny Depp, sorry, but he's been filming Pirates of the Caribbean, was filmed on campus as well. So I'm going to move on now to tell you a little bit more about studying at university, because, okay, it's a good thing to study for a university degree, but for a number of different reasons. One, as we're sharing today, is to gain more in-depth wisdom about a particular field, but also, of course, as we've been very much focused today, enhancing your career prospects through gaining skills and subject knowledge specifically. So it's part of growing personally, growing professionally, but let's not forget also through developing ourselves, we contribute back to society as well. And that's a very important thing to remember these days. Now about the program more specifically, yes, the happy days. So our ultimate objective is to get you your degree and get you on your way to a career. And graduates of the program, if you follow the program with SEGI, you can actually come to London and participate in the graduation ceremonies in London or in KL. So here's some of the companies that our graduates have worked for. And as you can see, quite an international range of companies. Where are they now? And we also engage, as academics, we engage in research. And that's not only pure academic research, as you'll see in the next few slides. It's research that's specifically looking at real-world problems, whether that's COVID-19. I've just had a piece published on COVID and the impact on the hospitality industry, on the Olympics, the impact of the Olympics. So my own interest is very much around immersive digital technologies and how that's transforming the business world. So the degree itself is developed with in consultation with the Chartered Institute of Marketing and the Digital Marketing Association. It's a 3-year degree. Year one, I won't go through these in depth. SEGI will be very happy to send you the information. Year one focuses on the introductory concepts, on digital marketing, on the financial aspects of marketing. Can we have the next slide? Or is it just my screen that's frozen? Yes. So using a mix of different teaching styles, lectures, tutorials, live case studies, independent study, group work. We very much incorporate real-world business challenges. And we do have guest speakers as well, online, live in the classroom, that we encourage students to participate in. So we're seeking for every graduate to be able to demonstrate their knowledge, their independent thinking, their autonomy, their creativity, their entrepreneurial skills, and the cross-cultural and international awareness. So these are 5 core, we call them the Greenwich Graduate Attributes, the GGA, that every student that graduates with a university degree will be able to go to employers with these 5 core skills. Now, the career paths, we've been talking a lot about KOLs, opinion leaders and YouTube influencers. There's a lot more jobs in the digital marketing world than those. Those are the sort of the celebrity jobs in a way, the high profile jobs. But there are roles in account management, dealing with clients, with the contract side, linking to the brand and product portfolio development. We've been mainly talking, of course, today about social media. But behind that, if you're good with numbers, this is very important in digital marketing, to do the data analysis and to drive those sales through. And by final year, we're taking a much more longer term strategic planning outlook as well. So not just, as my colleagues quite rightly said, can you plan your next 12 YouTube videos, but where will your company be 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? So that longer term strategic planning is incredibly important for your career and for the companies. So it's all about change. It's about changing you through education to become more employable, to become a better person, to be able to get a job. And as we're seeing today, to lead, not just to follow the change, but to lead the change in the companies and in the context that you look to work for. Now, the details of the program, Segi, our friends at Segi will be very happy to share with you. And I do hope for those of you who are ready to study, to be able to apply for the program and join us in the new year. In September, we're starting the program, and the applications are already coming in. So thank you for listening for the about the program. And I do hope to greet some of you personally when you come to visit London to show you our lovely campus. Thank you, CY. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Peter. I think first of all, thank you for the sharing. And I think I need to apologize for my weak internet connection moments ago. Sorry about that. So for those of you who are watching out there, thank you very much for connecting in, and apologies for the technical error that happened moments ago. So we're at the end of the webinar now, and this is the final question that I have to our speakers. And admin, if you could bring out all of them at one go, it would be very good. And for those of you who are watching this, just to give you a notice ahead of time, this is the final question. And what's going to happen after this is the Q&A session. So if you have any questions regarding anything at all about digital marketing, about YouTube and stuff like that, do type it in the comment section below, because when we arrive at the Q&A session, you wouldn't have enough time to type, right? So please type your question in the comments below while our speakers are trying to answer this question. So the closing question of tonight's webinar is, with your knowledge and understanding of the marketing world, and if you are a student now, what would you do differently to give yourself a competitive edge? Or in other words, what would your advice be to students now? There's no limit to how long how long you should answer this. But yeah, to our first volunteer.
Okay, I'll start first. Yeah. So like, yeah, no, I think in general, the job market, the next couple of months will be slow down, right? But it's a goal. It will be different by industry, right? So as a student, I think what you need to do is, other than learning, you need to start building, based on what you have learned in terms of digital marketing, or any skills that you just recently learned. Try to implement it. Do your own hobby project. Do some mini website, run some small campaign, shoot some videos and put it on YouTube or even TikTok or whatever. So make good use of the next couple of months. Try to build some portfolio. I think this will be something really stand out when you go to interviews in the very near future, right? Instead of your typical CV on what subject you learn, but other than that, you also have a list of these are the projects that you actually built in the last 3 months, and you put a link to the respective YouTube video or your website, and etc. I think that will really help you to stand out among other peer interviewees. And I think a lot more important is you can turn into practical, right? What you have learned is always theory and concept, but without running your own actual campaign, you won't really have a real feeling of how the digital marketing works. So highly encourage everyone to make good use of these few months. Other than learning, build something. Build and break it is fine. Go and build something.
Yeah. So portfolio, right? Dr. Peter, you have something to share.
I think so. what would give the competitive edge, what I have said to myself 20 years ago. 3 things. 1, know the company that you aim to be working for. I mentioned this earlier. I want to elaborate. Social media, digital marketing is a solution. We present it as a solution. What is the problem? What is the problem that the client is having that your YouTube channel will help them solve? And it's not a simple problem. Everyone wants more sales. So we know that. We know everyone wants more sales. But where are the sales struggling? In which markets? In which demographic? Are they looking to grow? Is there something about the competitors that their competitors are doing better? So it's less about yourself in a way, especially early in your career, less about yourself, what you have, and more about the client, what they need. So if I recall when I was a graduate, I thought, I have a degree, I have this, I have that. It's not so much what you have, but it's your understanding of what the client needs. And one way to do that is through networking. So to participate, as we were saying earlier, to participate, to be active, not just in the books, but in online sessions, in networking opportunities. And then thirdly, I would echo to apply those skills. And that might be applying your skills for a charity. And at the minute, we have still in the UK a very, very serious health issue with the COVID-19. So one way, if we're not working at the moment or we're new to the field, to apply those skills to a charity. You're saying to build an app or to build a channel. I've been volunteering at our local food bank. I mean, people can't get to the supermarket still, some people. So to be able to support them through some kind of digital technology, digital marketing, these charitable non-profit groups, I think you can apply your skills very early on in your career. Thank you.
Thank you. Others?
No, I think both Mr. Chan and Dr. Peter has answered it very well. Let's move on.
Yeah. So I'm going to move on to the last section of our webinar today, and that is the Q&A session. So I just want to very, very quickly bring out our first question for the day, and there is a question from Xiu Ying Wong. And the question is, any recommendation to create an attractive or outstanding content writing?
This is a tough question.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
To be honest, right? I mean, I have many marketers in my organizations, but the problem is when you start to creating one or two attracting article or content, that's fine. But when you have to do that every day, every week, right? That became more and more challenging because it's like running out of ideas sometimes. The other part is like when your audience see a lot of this kind of contents, right? They will become immune. They will probably, okay, I know what you are going to tell in your content or in your next YouTube video. So you always have to be more and more creative and change from time to time. So I think the recommendation is you need to understand what's your audience in and pay attention to analytics, right? For example, you create content with style A that attracted how many people to reach and clicks, and that even whether that convert to any conversions or not, right? So you always look at the data. Then from there okay, this kind of approach I get more attention. That kind of approach I got more sharing. So I think if we were to give one recommendation, I think is try to write content. That's one part, but also look at the analytic. From the analytic, you will have a better understanding of what exactly your user audience wants.
And I think that's the beauty of digital marketing, because with digital marketing now everything is measurable. You don't have to guess, right? You just have to look at the data and make an informed decision. It's not like it's not like before, you slap a billboard or you put out flyers and you hope somebody saw it, right? So everything is very predictable, everything is very measurable, and that is the beauty of digital marketing. The next question that I want to ask is not from the comment section, but it's something that I hear a lot of students, prospective students who have asked us this question, and that is, when they are considering about studying the degree in advertising and digital marketing communication, one of the questions that they always ask me is, CY, I'm not a very techie person. Like, I don't know how to program a website. I don't know how to shoot a video. I don't have a lot of technical knowledge. Is digital marketing for me?
Well, the degree, I guess this is coming to me, CY, the question. The technical, now the degree is hosted in our Faculty of Business. So it's under the category of a business degree, not a technical degree like a creative arts college technical degree. We do have exposure to the different programs of computer labs, and I know Segi has very extensive computer labs. The cost of the software is coming down. But as was quite rightly mentioned in one of the questions, today it's Snapchat, tomorrow it's TikTok, and the day after that it's going to be something else. So I think one of the key skills that we impart in this degree is learning about change and learning about how to adapt. So over the 3 years, many different modules. There will be, I mentioned maths, financial analysis, there'll be data analysis, there'll be design components, brand image, to create brand image products, services, portfolios, and so on. So no, I wouldn't worry too much in terms of studies. I don't want to go to the point, and my colleagues, please correct me, it's not just a question of if I don't know, I'll just buy in the expertise, because then that just becomes an expensive solution. So you do need to learn those, and we do need to teach those. We can't just outsource everything. But at the same time, no, I wouldn't worry too much that you're the Picasso of the digital art world. But we do have, as we've been discussing today, a discipline where a portfolio of skills are needed in order to carry out the job effectively. That's a very good question. I think students are quite right to ask those kind of questions. Very good question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Peter. And I think we've come to the end of today's session. But before I conclude, right? I mean, let me just try to make a summary of what I've learned from all of the speakers tonight. I think one of the most important thing that I've learned from all of you is, if you want to become a digital marketer, or if you want to become a YouTuber, or whatever it is, right? You must try, right? Be it creating a video, be it designing a website, it doesn't matter what it is, try and get on as many platforms as you can, because as a student, this is your time to try, and this is your time to learn. And in your learning and in your trial and error, try to understand where you want to go in life and what kind of companies you want to be working with, and try to build a portfolio around where you want to go. So this is where Dr. Peter mentioned about doing some study or doing some background research about what kind of industry you want to go to, what are the problems that the industry are facing, and to link it to what Mr. Chan has said, try to see how you could add value to the company that you're trying to help, and that is how you create value, and that is how you position yourself as a competitive graduate. So before we end, I just want to give everybody maybe 3 sentences, to sum up, and we're going to call it a night. Volunteers, please.
Maybe I can start first. I just want to add something. I think throughout tonight, we have not spoken about how important digital marketing is to e-commerce. That is a comment from Mr. Zach Lee. I've been reading the comments. Sean Fishy has been helping out very well. Thank you very much. Digital marketing is definitely very key, as e-commerce and also mobile app, e-hailing services, food delivery services becoming more and more prevalent. So this is a very key experience and also skill set to have, because when I hire, I don't look at just where these graduates come or graduate from. I actually look at what kind of skill sets do they bring to the table. And more often than not, I will hire people with some form of digital capability, whether it's audio video production capabilities, digital marketing experience, or even just managing a website through WordPress. That is already a plus to me. Yep, that's all.
Thank you very much. So 3 sentences from either Chan or Dr. Peter. Who would like to go first?
Dr. Peter?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to echo Mr. Michael. I think when moving ahead, looking to develop a career in this industry, it's not just about what you know. It's the two words: I can. I can. And if you can put the I can on the table, I can design, I can communicate, I can create to use those kinds of words in your LinkedIn page, those kinds of words in your CV. I think that's what will resonate with employees as we're hearing today. Not just I know, not just I have a piece of paper, but because I know and I have a piece of paper, I can carry out a particular function. And we've heard today quite a lot of sub-functions that are required to have a successful YouTube channel, whether that's content creation, presentation skills, and so on. So focus on the what the client needs, what they need, and what you can do, not just what you know.
Okay. So before I recap with my 3 sentences, right, I just want to add on to what Michael mentioned earlier, right? So I'm looking at it as a future of digital marketers, right? I think the function is not just stop at digital marketing, then bring someone to e-commerce. I think in the future you expand as if digital marketers, how can you bring also foot traffic to a retailers? And also how you make good use of digital marketing to bring your foot traffic from a retailers, go back and shop online. So I think it's a huge emergence of the online and offline world, how they put together. We call it omnichannel in the term, right? So back to my 3 sentence recap. I think number 1 is don't just learn, but keep building, right? Learn is one thing, but you have to really build so that you can master the skills. Number 2 is, like it or not, you have to embrace the new normal. Digital marketing is definitely a huge part of it. And I think all the students out there, the soon graduates out there, you all are the future, right? And my last sentence is the future is now.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very concise way of ending our session tonight. So once again, I want to thank all of our speakers for joining us. That is the end of the Q&A session. And for those of you who are still watching with us right now, Michael is showing his Gundam right now. So for those of you who are watching right now, I said in the beginning of the webinar that you can stand a chance to win a limited edition University of Greenwich laptop bag that looks exactly just like this. So how you win is you go to the link that is at the running banner down there, and it's also projected at the screen. Go to bit.ly/UOG bags. So put in your detail there, and you're going to stand a chance to win a limited edition University of Greenwich laptop bag. And to those of you who have joined us today, thank you very much for staying with us from the beginning until the end. And for those of you who have tuned in midway, thank you for joining. And for those who have been asking a lot of questions, thank you very much for your question. And we look forward to do more webinar sessions just like this. So if you are still watching right now, right, apart from going to this link and try to win yourself a laptop bag, perhaps you could also type in the comment section below what are some of the topics that you wish that you think you want to hear from Segi Group of Colleges, especially in the area of digital marketing or in other places as well. So that is all. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Chan, Mr. Michael, and Dr. Peter. And to those of you who are watching, good night and thank you. Bye-bye.
If you want to expand and improve your business online, Exabytes can help. We're Southeast Asia's leading cloud and digital solution provider with 20 years of solid experience. Today, Exabytes powers its 140,000 worldwide customers, from individuals, small and medium-sized businesses, to government and public listed companies, with the three most important values in mind: simplify, innovate, and grow. Using the power of technology and its all-in-one solutions, which include web design, website security, cloud backup, digital marketing, business email, and more. Exabytes can guide you along every single step, from zero to success, to ensure you can sit back and watch your business grow.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.
I've always wanted to know how the world works, and I've always wanted to try and fix things. And if I don't achieve that, then somebody else has to.
There are some things that set students and staff at Greenwich apart from everybody else. It's a commitment to being ambitious, being determined, being inclusive, and it's about achieving the best that they can with all the talents that they have been presented with.
University of Greenwich was my choice because in terms of engineering, they are one of the leaders in the country. It's a very good university campus in terms of the facilities provided.
So you can study everything from engineering and science to business, or education and health to architecture and computing.
Since I started university, I knew I had an interest in ecology, biology, and environmental change. The people that teach us are experts in their field, but they're also active researchers as well. So you know that they're going around the world, they're doing studies in countries like Ethiopia and Uganda, and they're looking into solving these problems.
We take the future of our students so seriously at Greenwich that we build employability directly into our courses.
When I applied for the University of Greenwich, it was a course that seemed perfect for me because not only was it the only university that offered a degree with football coaching, but it was also had a partnership with Charlton Athletic, made me a much better coach than what I started.
My name's Guy Penwill. I studied at the University of Greenwich. I'm now part of a team that won 2 Oscars for visual effects. I came to Greenwich because of the wonderful setting. It was London, and I desperately wanted to live in London as well. As soon as I graduated, they gave me a job, which was fantastic because you've got so many other hundreds of thousands of students trying to enter the industry.
The University of Greenwich is fortunate and somewhat unique amongst London universities to have such excellent sports facilities, from our grass pitches to our sports hall to our tennis courts, and now these wonderful artificial pitches.
Sports teams are the best thing you'll ever do at university. They are your family, they're your support network, and I know that I wouldn't have lasted this long in university if it wasn't for them.
The experience at Greenwich will be very different because we're incredibly supported through personal tutorials. We get to know our students by their names, having one-on-one meetings to support their knowledge and support their learning.
And you can come to Greenwich to see for yourself on one of our open days. Take a tour of one of the campuses. Try a taster session in a subject you are interested in and speak to the leading academics who will be teaching you.
And also the exoskeleton, the weaponry, the backpack, and the handies. Of course, John Reed's weaponry is really amazing. This is his assault rifle.
呢隻機係2002年從一個 event 叫 MG Special Mechanics CW Champion。
Kerana dia baru ada gimmick yang sangat unik. Mana layer wave dia? Kau chip dengan layer wave dia bergabung kat sini.
Hard time versus 58. Untuk stadium nombor